Yeah, I think they picked up where they left off. A lot of retention from the older guys. Installs come a lot faster than last year. It's interesting for me, kind of a different install, kind of an older guy install and the younger guy install, because there's so much retention, because the kids work so hard in the summer. But the effort's been awesome. The communication's been awesome. And just their understanding of what we're trying to get done has been really, really good.
Your freshman DBs, I know you're really high on them this summer. How 4 days in, how they look?
Um, 4 days in, those guys have done some really, really good things. Now, I think they've hit the rookie wall a little bit, practicing like we practice and lifting and all that kind of thing. So I think they might be getting a little heavy-legged, but I like where they're at. I think those guys are going to be really, really good players. They're definitely going to help on special teams, and I hope some of them can help us, on base defense or nickel defense or dime defense.
How nice is it having Coach DeWitt out there healthy and practice? How has that maybe changed his players' attitudes?
You know what? The players have been great the whole time. They knew what we were trying to accomplish. Football is football. We can get the practice done, but just having them out there is just a high morale for all of us, I think. I mean, it's getting a member of your family back, and just to see him walking around and see him in the meeting room, and him giving me a little every day is awesome to have around. So it's unbelievable to have him back. You don't know what you have until you lose something sometimes, and I'm really glad he's back with us.
He had talked on the radio interview about how the coaches and their families all kind of came around him and his family. Was that just something you guys naturally did because that's just who you guys are?
Yeah, and I think the coaches were trying to help him with the football, maybe going to hang out with him in the hospital a little bit. To say the families did it's probably a lie. The wives did it. We have unbelievable wives. They're one tribe just like we are, and they kind of rallied around and made sure all the stuff at home was taken care of, and we tried to help with the football and his well-being. But yeah, I think we'd do that for any kid on the team, any staff member. That's just what you do when you're a family, I guess.
Talk about the veterans that you have returning as far as local leadership and just player leadership compared to a year ago. How far is that come?
The leadership and the followership has come a long way. I think sometimes you have great leaders and then you have bad followers behind them. Right now we have really good followers and we have really good leaders. And if it's a leader that's talking, people are listening. And if it's another guy that maybe not be a leader, the leader's even listening. So I think that leadership quality, the unity in the team, offense, defense. If Adrian Martinez tells us something on defense, we're going to do it. It's just a team mentality now, and leadership is trickling from the top to the bottom.
And you said now that you're with these guys, you sense these guys are bigger and stronger than they were even in the spring.
Absolutely. I mean, just looking at them and watching them run around and watching them play and watching them do drills, it's night and day to me. And I think ask Coach DeWitt about that. Even he's a better judge of that because like me and him talked, and he said, "What do you think?" I said, "Well, I think we're better." He said, "I think we're a lot better." When you're not around it for 4 months and then you jump back in, he's like, it just looks different. So I'll take his word for it.
Is there a player that you feel like kind of exemplifies that through 4 days? Or this guy's actually bigger and stronger?
Well, I mean, I think those guys up front are really big and really strong. One guy I think is playing really good right now is Colin Miller. I think his explosiveness, and maybe it's understanding better, but he looks bigger and stronger and faster. And I mean, all the guys. I mean, the DBs look huge for DBs, so I like where we're at. Yeah, I think Darian does a great job of kind of being the quote unquote new guy, but knowing that he has some leadership ability. So he's not stepping on toes, but he needs to say what he needs to say, and he knows when to say it. And the guys respect him. They respect him a lot. So he can talk in that D-line room. He can talk to the defense. He's kind of right now on the sideline, kind of a get us fired up guy, and the kids love it. So I think he knows where to insert himself, and which is a quality that not a lot of people have.
Coach Richard was saying on the kids radio interview a while back that JoJo's a lot bigger now, and I know he kind of moved in mid-season, so he was kind of dealing with whatever side he was at the time. Where's he at? How do you feel like he fits into the defense you want?
I think JoJo can do a lot of jobs. Last year, he kind of had to play that nickel position. Now he's 225, 230 pounds. So I think he can truly play some base outside linebacker. So he can allow us to get in out of a lot of packages because he hasn't lost his cover ability. You don't always have to sub with him. You can get 4 down, you can get into 3 down, you can get into 2 down with him. You can blitz him, you can cover him. So he gives you a lot of flexibility on just the multiple schemes we want to run.
Because he had sort of an odd injury and then it happened again. How important is it to keep him as healthy as possible?
I think, well, if you're not healthy, you can't play and you can't help us. So keeping him healthy is probably number one right now.
Who on the offense has given the defense trouble so far in practice?
Well, the guy with the football every snap is pretty good, as you guys know. Adrian Martinez gives us a lot of problems. Wandale Robinson's given us a lot of problems. That guy is pretty special. I don't know exactly what his role is going to be or if he knows what he's doing because I don't coach on that side of the ball, but when he gets that ball in his hands in space, it's a problem right now. I like a lot of their skill. Their skill guys look really good. I mean, JD is really good, and Jack Stoll is good, and kind of I know has helped them out quite a bit. Didrik Mills has been a nice addition at running back, so I think they got a lot of tools right now.
You know who's had the upper hand in offense for the defense early on?
Oh, I don't know. We've played underwear football for a couple days, so I don't care if we win those because we should win. It's hard to pass block when you got pads on. The last 2 days, I think yesterday probably the defense a little bit. Today probably a little pretty even.
Erik, how much further ahead is this defense forcing turnovers and making splash plays?
I mean, personally, being 4 days in, I think we're way ahead. Today, for instance, I think we grabbed 3 or 4 balls and interceptions and stripped a couple out. So when it happens, to me, when it happens in practice, what happens in practice shows up on Saturday. And right now it's happening in practice. Is it going to continue? That's my challenge to them. If it can continue, then I think we're going to be a really good turnover unit. We can get back to where I want to be as a defensive coordinator. If they just kind of let it slide, that was good enough, then we won't be again. But right now I really like where it's going.
How would you judge the focus level of the players so far?
Dramatically different, I would say. To me, the hardest thing in football as a player is to dial in and walkthroughs and teach periods and meetings. And right now, I haven't seen wandering eyes and poking my buddy and giggling in the back. That doesn't happen anymore. It's just guys are locked in. Guys want to learn. Guys know this is competition. There's young guys in here to take my job, and I better stay locked in. And young guys know I want to take that job. I need to be locked in if I'm not getting the reps. So I think the focus is really good.
Anything else? On a side note, does it surprise you the success that Luke Gibson has had?
No, not at all. I always thought that selfishly, I kind of wish we could have found a way to get him a medical red shirt or did something, put him in a different number. I would have loved to have him for another year because his best football is ahead of him. He's a really, really good football player that had some unfortunate injuries. He understands the game. He's physical. He can play a lot of positions. He's a great human being. To me, I always knew that his best football, we were not going to get the best football out of him because he was recovering from that injury. His best football is down the road, and I think he's going to have a nice career as an NFL player.